It's week 30, and this episode for Dynasty was actually really interesting. I know I'm doing this review quite late, actually, because the episode was aired 2 weeks ago. Um, we kind of have a non-issue resolution for is Blake really Fallon's father storyline. Yes, he is. The end of that story, and she feels fine, and there's nothing to worry about. What a lame way to end. They should have had her really go much darker than they did, in my mind. This season with Fallon has been nothing short but atrocious, really. Really awful. They have no idea what they're doing with her character. The much more interesting storyline for this episode is that Steven finds where Sammy Jo ended up. Now, Sammy Jo is in Hollywood, and she is dating kind of like this, not prestigious, but successful, really sleazy, like, director or photographer type. And she is taking very sleazy photos, and Steven's like, you don't have to do this. I can be there for you. And she's like, well, I don't want you there. Which is really interesting. I actually really like Heather Locklear's character. She's really, really grown on me. She's so much more interesting than Fallon is. Although, because they've really grown her character. She's kind of transformed into something that is really quite interesting. And the way that she fights back at the Carringtons, that's the most interesting quality about her. Crystal's concerned about Claudia. Claudia is another character they haven't really done too much with this season. She's concerned that Claudia is going to try to kill herself, so she stops her, bursts into the room. It's like, you can't do this. Not at all. And Claudia's like, I'm not going to shoot myself. I'm going to shoot that Colby man. Oh, yeah. And she's really intense about it. And they have this struggle over power of the gun. And the gun goes off. And we don't see where the gun fired. And then someone else walks in and says, oh my. And that's how the episode ends, which is like so cliche, but it was so perfect. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was just so much fun to see that. So after having had a week off, and Dallas's first season actually finished within that week, that review will be coming shortly. How do I feel about this episode as a whole? Was okay. The end of the episode was fantastic, and it actually stayed with me. That hasn't been typical of this season for me. The ends of the episodes just haven't stayed with me. But this one did. The Steven seeking Sammy Jo and where Sammy Jo ended up storyline is actually really interesting. It's unique and it's fun to watch. Fallon and the non-storyline way of how they resolve Blake is definitely Fallon's father. I thought was stupid and just resolved horribly. So the episode's a little bit uneven, but I think the pros outweigh the cons for this individual episode. Am I looking forward to the next episode? Absolutely. I want to know what happened with that gunfire. And if I'm going to make a prediction that they're not even going to deal with that until after the first commercial break. I don't think that's going to be the start of the episode. If it is, I will be very impressed. Anyways, I will catch you guys next week. because we have 2 weeks in a row that it will be on again. And yeah, I just hope you guys keep coming back with me to the Carrington Mansion.